Another day, another romp in the casual rooms. My opponent made me go first, and they won the die roll, so that is automatically extremely scary. No, we're not going to do that because they made us go first. Um, hmm. I could just, get Shamal up and running here. So yeah, we're gonna. But I think I'd rather use Allure of Darkness as Ash bait if my opponent has any, because they're rocking Galaxy Eye sleeves, and if there's one thing about Galaxy Eyes players is that they are very, very persistent. We're gonna get Sharnga out of the way first. We'll retrieve it later with Shamal. Yeah, unfortunately that is our only target, so that is not Gucci in the slightest. And these are both tuners, by the way, so we are in for a wild, wild ride. But I think we can still make something out of this. Yeah, because Vata sends stuff to the graveyard. So I think this is fine. So we will do our normal stuff, send Zephyros, and we'll also send... I think it's better to send Chinook, so that we'll have a negation up and ready. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna summon a Blackwing Dragon. That'll trigger Black Feather Whirlwind. And we will get... this summons, right? I keep forgetting that. Yes, it's special summons. So, I would normally get Sharnga. Yeah, we should get Sharnga. Then we'll just get Chinook into rotation sooner or later. But we're going to go into a level 6 anyway because we have Zephyros here. So we'll bounce Black Feather Whirlwind back. Then we'll summon the Zephyros. And then, before we forget, we put it back down. There we go. And then, we're going to make full Armor Master right freaking now, before we literally do anything else. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the right choice. I hope I'm doing this right. I think I can make 2 of the Burning Dragons once we do get to it, but we shall see. This special summons, unfortunately, so I think getting Chinook will not really help us. We need more tuners than we need anything else, so I think getting Vata is a-okay here. Allows us level 10 access, so there's that. Okay, now that we have access to a level 6, or we can make a level 8, but I think we go for a level 6 first. So we get these 2 out of the way. We'll go to we will go to our level 10 shortly, if we even can. So we're going to send something. I hope I'm doing this right. I think I screwed it up somewhere, but we will find out soon enough. Nothing is in the banished pile. Simoon is pretty close to wordless by this point. So we'll just send another non-tuner, and then there's that. Yeah, I think we did screw up somewhere, so we'll banish this, and we'll banish that. Okay, so Shamal stays on the field, and that is unfortunate. So we'll only be burning our opponent for 700 points at a time. I definitely screwed up somewhere, but I believe this is a-okay. So we will do the max C check on my opponent's draw step and see if that is more than enough to stop them from whatever it is they plan to do here. Although Shamal is a decently statted, not sized, decently statted attacker anyway at 1600, so that could make my opponent shake in their boots, maybe just a little bit. But with Raigeki, okay, fine. Full Armor Master is unaffected by that anyway, so we'll only have one thing on board, so that's not nothing. But if this is just going to OTK us from out of nowhere, I am not going to be surprised. You are not playing it at all. Fine, we will shotgun you right freaking now. You are playing pendulums, so not having your scales be set up in any way, shape, or form, I think I'd rather just get rid of it entirely. This is like the casual rooms are like the perfect place for you to just go ham with your interactions and whatnot, and just, it just makes you do what you need to do without fear of losing your spot on the rank ladder. And if you're going to struggle that hard, I'm going to Ash Blossom that opponent. Okay, forcing you to do that. So these two cards plus whatever you draw off the top had better be something that can out something that can be unaffected. So let's see if my opponent does claw their way out of this one. I did make them use a lot of resources though, so that's something. Um, let's see if Triple Tactics talent does indeed net them anything, which is always a good possibility, because a draw 2 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is clinically insane. So using spell power mastery, so this is just a rota for the entire Endymion archetype. You don't really need to read the rest of the text. Just you know, if you're going to boil down most of the Endymion cards, it's just searchers upon searchers upon searchers, and eventually they will reach a critical mass and then start summoning from the extra deck, or they start summoning their pendulum scales because all of their stuff is like insanely big. And using card destruction as the last card in hand is like one of the worst things I've ever seen an Endymion deck rock. Like, how desperate are you for card advantage? You discarded a spell book, so that is something. Although you did discard Astral Karibo, so there's that. Okay, he drew another pendulum scale from after all of that, but I don't think he has anything that can even remotely hit over full armor master here. Okay, sure. Last card in hand is a feather duster. You're going to pendulum summon Endymion, but I think that's pretty much it. You'll just preserve your life points a little, sure, but I don't know if my opponent can even out something that can be unaffected by literally everything. So we're going to see. Okay, he's putting it in attack position, which is like the first draw I'm getting. Okay, sure, you have spell counters. Okay, my opponent is still going to keep going here. He'll probably find a way to buff up Endymion himself. So we're going to see. Okay, I'm getting Cerberus. Alright, that is something. And also summoning Servant. Okay. Mythical Beast. What does this do? It cannot be destroyed once per turn. Target one of your opponent's monster controls. Banish it. Gain attack. What you can target it, but it's unaffected anyway. So you'd better have something like better. You'd better have something better than this, opponent. Or else I'll just slowly but surely kick your ass. And it's not going to get any better for you here. But we're going to activate this. I'm pretty sure he has something here. I think this is a banish. No, this only targets monsters. This places a spell counter. I believe Endymion is also a removal. Yeah, cannot target, cannot be destroyed at a normal spell. So yeah, we're just going to go into combat here. And then let's see. I think I'd rather get rid of Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. There we go. I can never remember these names. So we do that, and then I mean, even though we control the Blackwing, it's just not right to summon Harmattan here. So we'll just try to draw 2 cards here. Let's get our card neutral advantage. Okay, we will get rid of Harmattan. I don't think my opponent has too much interaction from here on out, so we're going to do it like this. Then we will get Vata, we will do our usual thing, we'll send a level 6, so that we make an 8. Yes, we will do that, just that. Okay, that's just additional attack power anyway, so there's also that. There we go. And then Shamal will trigger, and that will allow us to fetch out Chinook finally. We have not normal summoned though, so that is something to keep in mind. But I think I'd rather have a negate here, given that we are facing off against Pendulum Magicians. Or rather, this is more akin to Endymions. So there's also that. So we're going to do this, and we will reduce Endymion's attack power by just a little bit more, because we can do that. Alright, now we have a quick effect negate, and we also have a max C. So let's see if my pendulum opponent can even crawl out of this. Draw phase, sure, you do that, and now I will max C you. Give you the check. Did you draw the Ash Blossom, opponent? If not, then I will keep pummeling on your ass with all of these feathers. Let's see, okay, standby phase, main phase 1. Okay. This could also just be a pendulum scale, which like just digs my opponent slightly out of it. Okay, the continuous spell, that is something. This only negates monsters, right? Yeah, it only negates monsters. Sure, sure, sure. Okay, continuous spell. This has a lot of decks on it. Destroy the battle, place 2 spell counters. You can move any number of spell counters, add a monster with a level equal to the number removed that you can place a spell counter on. Okay, sure. There was only one on the field, I believe, so you can only get a level 1. So getting Jackal, sure. I have never seen. I very rarely see this card. I only see like his upgraded forms, if I remember correctly. Sure, that's a pendulum scale. That is fine. None of these are tuners, so he only has access either to Xyz or fusions, which these pendulum decks tend to have a lot of in spades. Okay, going into Daybreaker, which is usually a bad sign that the pendulum player is getting pretty goddamn desperate, but he knows I have a negation. But if this is bait, because he has not pendulum summoned just yet, this can do something. We're going to send Silverwing because that's not honestly important at this current moment. And then now he has a wedge counter, and I can get control of him after the fact. And yeah, my opponent has absolutely nothing now because I literally ran him out of resources way early in the game. Let's move on to the next one. My opponent made me go second, and he's rocking the Cyber's Field, so I am already quaking in my boots. We do have a really good hand if we went first, because we will at least be able to punch through 2 different points of interaction. But if my opponent is just going to set one and pass, then I am both relieved and horrified for my future here. So let us see what else we can do here. Zephyros in our hand is not good in the slightest. I believe we will bait that Ash Blossom first. We will discard Shamal. Let's see what my opponent thinks about that. Using Called by the Grave quite literally immediately. Alright, that is something. Although that is usually a sign of weakness if like the first monster play your opponent makes and then you Called by the Grave it like immediately. I mean that can also be seen as a defensive move, but that is sometimes not good. Place a Black Whirlwind from your deck in your spell and trap zone. I believe we can do this. Okay, and we will discard. We will get rid of Vata. Zephyros is only a 1-of, and he's hard to get back anyway. So we'll get rid of Vata for now. Then we'll put the other Black Whirlwind here, and we will summon Sea Moon. Alright, Black Whirlwind trigger, and my opponent concedes because he did not have shit in his hand. Jesus Christ, this is why I love the casual rooms. The duelists here are way more honest than they are on the rank ladder, and that's why I keep coming back to this place. Let's move on to the next one. Won the die roll at least, so let's see what my going first hand is going to look like. And it is goddamn awful. Holy shit, I have never seen a hand this bad for this deck in a long ass while. This is a go second hand if I ever saw one, and I believe I will give my opponent a really bad time if I just set one and, you know, I just passed. And it's always good to set infinite impermanences on the link columns, because that will usually tip them off that something is not right. And that will also make them play weird, depending on the kind of deck that they're rocking. But we're going to perform the Max C check, see if they have an Ash Blossom or Called by the Grave. They do indeed have that, so that's... And thankfully for you, opponent, that was the one that I actually cared the least about, because I still have an Ash Blossom and an Infinite Permanence ready to stop whatever it is you're planning over there. Opponent has used 2 cards so far, so he still has 4 to work with. So let's see what else my opponent could potentially have. Branded Opening. That is not what you Ash Blossom. You always Ash Blossom Branded Fusion. Okay, sending Fall of Albaz, and what else are you going to do? Summoning Alubuduber, the Boober Duber. Okay, that is actually fine, because he could potentially have Branded Fusion in hand, or a backup polymerization style spell. So we're going to see what else he could potentially have here. Okay. Or we could have used Infinite Permanence and then they forget the Imperm column, but yeah, he is playing weird around it. So now would be a good time as any to use this. And of note, Branded Fusion is just a 1-of. I believe, yes, it is limited to 1. So that is your one and only shot at it, so you'd better have a backup plan there, opponent, unless you know, you don't, and which case you just sit there and hope to the gods that you survive until the next turn. Alright, that is completely fine by me. We need Vata or Sea Moon. Another infinite permanence is not going to do the trick. Although Shamal can surprisingly hit over. Oh my god. He can hit over a Luber Duber, the Boober Duber. So I would do that, but man, we don't have any other plays, unfortunately. We'll just use the Shamal effect on the second main. We're going to get rid of Aluber here first, unless my opponent has something to say about it. Okay, they're languishing over there, so I believe this is a free attack, unless I could be horribly mistaken. It's always a possibility. There we go. Alright, we go to main 2. Okay, and we'll set this one. And then we will activate Shamal's effect. Let's see what my opponent has to say about that. Nope, he does not have anything to say about that. Alright, we are sort of set up, but I am fearful for our future here. So me and my opponent are going to stare at each other for a little while, so I'll just bring you guys back in at the next interesting point. Okay, so a small update here. My opponent has managed to get out of their languishing position, and they made Mitter Jade. Granted, the both of us were like languishing for a really, really long time, and neither of us were able to do anything too significant to each other. So we were able to kajigger our way into this kind of board state, in which I mean, Mitter Jade is like a really good contender to full armor master here, but we're gonna need more than that if we're going to do some serious stuff against Mirror Jade here. So we're going to try and bait our opponent's removal out of it, because we do have the materials to make the flaming chicken. Yes, I call it a flaming chicken, and no one else will convince me otherwise. Let's see what else our opponents have. Okay, sure, yep. Return something to the hand. Sure, you will return the very thing that will honestly ultimately not give you any shits whatsoever. So there's that. Sure, have a wedge counter on that thing. And now I will do this. I will happily take control of that monster. Thank you very much, opponent. Will you banish your own monster? Of course you will not, opponent. Of course you will not. Now we will do this, and we will summon the flaming chicken. We will banish this, and also banish this. There we go. And we do this, so the flaming chicken is on the field. Do you have something for this opponent? Which I'm pretty sure you're going to have to shotgun your removal right here, right now, or else you will forever hold your peace. But let us see. Alright, nothing yet, so we're going to give my opponent here a paltry 200 points of damage. Okay, yep, he's going to do it now, so that he can save Mitter Jade. And let's see what else he's gonna do here. Alright. Unfortunately, oh my god, I can actually... This is not a once per turn, really? Oh my god, none of his... No, you can only use each effect once per turn. Wait, no, because it's my turn. Holy shit, this is amazing. Okay, sure. Here, get rid of Mary Jane. They even burned it for 700, Jesus Christ. That is just cherry on top. Sure, that's fine. He's negated. That doesn't matter. He's just there as a big attacker. So we do this. We're just going to attack into that. And then we attack with Renbrum. As much as I want to use Renbrum to finish up my opponent, Full Armor Master gets honors here. Yeah. Oh my god. This duel took way longer than I anticipated it would, but that's how it is here in the casual room. So, if you guys like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.